Okay. Hey, Lyzan. I want to thank you for coming back to see me today. So if you recall, last time we had you do some tests, which showed that you didn't have really any anxiety or depression going on, but you did have what looks like maybe some mild alcohol stuff going on. So today I wanted to just kind of have a conversation about kind of your backstory and get a feel for what it's like to live in your world. Does that sound like something that'd be okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your family?
Okay. I have 5 siblings,
Oh, wow.
and then I have 6. Um, I I'm near the middle child, I guess. There's 2 of us since there's 6 of us. Um, I have 3 older brothers, and then it's me, and then I have 2 younger sisters. So 3 boys, 3 girls.
Okay, so you said 3 older brothers and 2 younger sisters?
Yeah. So me
Okay.
and like one of my brothers are kind of in the middle there, and then mom and a dad still together, still living under one roof.
Okay. I hope you don't mind if I take notes so that I can go back and reference in
No
future
problem.
sessions.
No, there's a lot of us
Okay.
to keep track of.
Do you get along with everybody okay?
Now I guess now that we're older, yeah, I think when we were younger, 6 was a lot, but we definitely all get along now. Um, I think it's pretty normal.
Okay. And your mom and dad have like always been, are they married or
They
just,
are. So yeah, they've been married, oh man, 30 plus years now, I guess.
oh wow,
So
it's a
yeah,
long time.
yeah. But yeah, I think now everything is like good. I think when we were younger, it was kind of hectic and
Okay.
fun, but I think it was stressful then. But now it's definitely like it's nice to get everyone together, and like Thanksgiving's coming up, so that'll be a nice time, I think.
Okay. I wanted to ask about something that came up on the MAST screening that you did last session.
Okay.
One of the questions was if any of your family members ever worry or complain about your drinking, and you indicated yes on that question. Do you want to tell me a bit more about what goes on with that?
All right. Well, my brother, the one who's the next oldest above me, so we're the closest in age. We're a year apart. He it was actually it was maybe last Thanksgiving, not the one before. It's kind of ironic, I guess, timing. Um, he said that maybe I had a bit too much to drink at Thanksgiving, and I disagreed at the time, but then afterwards we had a talk about it, and then I kind of agreed with him, and he said he was kind of worried about it, and um,
Okay.
yeah.
Did he say why he was worried?
Uh, I think it was a little out of hand. I definitely had more than everyone there. I mean, most people there didn't have anything, but um, he just couldn't like. He was like, "Why? Like, why would you feel the need to drink this much at like Thanksgiving? Like, it's just Thanksgiving. It's not like New Year's, like a New Year's. You know what I mean? Like, he was just like, it's supposed to be like a chill, like, hang out with the family and the kids." And he was like, "There you were." Like, I don't know.
So he felt that the situation was kind of inappropriate for that much drinking.
Definitely. Yeah. Those
Okay.
were literally like almost his exact words. Yeah. He was like, I don't know
Wow.
what warranted this. Like, what is just Thanksgiving?
Okay. Um, How's your well, you said that your family gets along now a lot better. Were there any serious issues or really big incidents back in the past?
Um, I think my parents have always been pretty solid, but I think kids wise, I don't want to say it was a fight for attention because it's not like any of us fought with our parents. Our parents were always really great about dividing time, but I guess some of us just always wanted a little bit more time. And it
Okay.
was like baby after baby. So it was like, okay, like you already have a few. Like, I think growing up, that was like the thought for the older ones at least. And then it was just, it became fun. It wasn't like screaming baby, like mom's carrying the screaming baby now, or like, I don't know. I
Okay.
think it was a struggle, but I think things kind of evened out.
Okay. So there's never been any sort of trauma or anything like dire, it sounds like.
No, my childhood, I think it was a lot of fun. After realizing that babies grow up and can run around and play as well, I think it was a good time. My parents were never, verbally abusive, physically abusive, any of that. No, I really like my childhood actually.
Well, that's great. I'm glad to hear it. The same can't be said of everybody.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's something I really, I think, just treasure. Or like, I always like Thanksgiving once again coming up. I always thank my parents for that. I think we all had a good childhood.
Mm. How about school? How did that go from then up to
Uh,
now?
Elementary school, it was a time. I think, like I said, once again, bringing it back to siblings, all of us around the same age. I mean, we're all pretty much a year or two apart. So between the oldest and the youngest, it's not anything huge. So at one point we were all like, at least three of us were always in the same school. So in the same middle school or same high school. And it was fun in that sense. We would all do homework together after school, um, at least until like middle school. And then when some of us were in high school, it was like, I don't know, like I feel like when you're younger, your friends are really your siblings. And then you
Mhm.
go off, and I feel like some of us definitely, like, obviously you're gonna make friends in school, but it was like less time spent together, and
Mhm.
then college and whatever. But I I don't think it was anything crazy.
Okay. Was it hard kind of going off on your own once you hit high school and college?
Yeah, college was very hard. I would say my undergrad was very difficult for me. It went from completely full house, like almost all the time, to a roommate and a
Mm.
dorm room, and um, just trying desperately to get home every weekend and visit everyone. And the older ones, most of them went to school around where we lived, so they were always home anyways. But I went to school kind of far, so
Mm.
it was definitely an adjustment period, I would say.
It sounds like.
Yeah.
Where did you go to college at?
It was all the way in Virginia Beach, Virginia. So
Okay.
um, that's like 4 or 5 hours away from where everyone else was. So, um, and I didn't have a car my freshman year. So
Mm.
going to and from was not easy. I would have to, find someone I knew who was older that lived in the same area that was coming home, or wait for someone to come visit. Or I always felt the need to, like, I gotta go home. Like, I don't want to be here. But um, I think that was like something a lot of my siblings went through, after the two younger ones, at least, because they also went to school far away.
Mm. Did you have any challenges with like bullying or anything of that nature?
Um, I didn't make too many friends, I would say, right off the bat. I think I was very, I don't want to say closed-minded, but I wasn't very open. Like, I didn't feel the need to make friends, I would say, the first 2 months. I
Okay.
um I hung out like in my room a lot. My roommate would be like, "Let's go out," and I'd be like, "No." So it was very like, I was like, I'd rather Skype one of my siblings, or like, I don't know, just
Okay.
hang out instead of go out with a bunch of people.
Okay. So I'm wondering, have you ever, on your MAST assessment, you indicated that you had gone to a doctor or a mental health clinic, something like that, for problems with alcohol and kind of dealing with your emotions. So I'm wondering how that visit went, or anything you could tell me about your medical history.
It was about like my sophomore year of college. And it was actually a suggestion from one of my teammates. I played sports in college. And so he was just like, hey, you've been kind of down lately, kind of not yourself. Like, obviously, like, I opened up to him, but he was like, I think you should open up to someone else who's like, you know, completely unbiased. And he's like, I've been to a counselor, you should go. So I did. And initially it was just about, I guess I was like depressed for a little bit, kind of just readjusting to the school year again and being away from home is the beginning of that year. And then it kind of snowballed into, you know, me talking about like the drinking habits I picked up after, or like after the first couple months of my freshman year.
And this was I'm sorry, counseling facility or medical facility?
I was a counseling facility on campus.
Okay. Do you feel that they helped you at all, or?
It was definitely nice to have someone, you know, completely, I guess, uninvolved to talk to, if that makes sense. It was like nice to have something scheduled in my planner that like, oh, this 1 hour is like all about whatever I want to talk about kind of thing. So it definitely, I think, was helpful in that sense, but I think it was definitely difficult for me to really open up for a while.
Was there any particular reason that you stopped seeing them?
It sounds weird, but I didn't want to hear it anymore. Like, so I would go in and she'd be like I obviously had an issue with drinking, and I didn't want to hear it anymore. Like, I was like, I already know this. And so it was, I gave up on trying to help myself, I guess. I don't know. And I mean, it's not like I blew up or anything like that and got really angry. It was just, I was like, hey, I don't think I'm at a place right now where I want to be hearing this. So I just stopped.
Okay. Is there anything that they did that worked very well for you that I could do now in our sessions to help you out?
I did a lot of journaling.
Okay.
Yeah, she had me do a lot of journaling, and I thought that was very helpful. Because sometimes, like I said, it was hard to open up. So sometimes I would write things that I would choose to discuss. She would say, you know, from the last week, pick a journal entry you want to discuss. And, you know, my journal entries were always, you know, more detailed or like more raw or more serious than my actual sessions. So I thought that was very helpful.
Sometimes, you know, it's very common with people. It's easier to get out what's going on up here through some sort of medium like writing, or some people like painting, journaling. So that's very helpful to me to know that that sticks out for you as something effective. Is there anything that didn't work out so well?
I just, I felt like sometimes I shut down and I don't talk. And I understood, like, she would sit with me in my silence kind of thing. But, like, after a while, I'd get so annoyed. like I was just kind of like, I know it wouldn't be like a counselor's place, I don't know, to end the session, be like, okay, well, you don't want to be here. But, like, sometimes I just wish you would, like, I don't want to say be more aggressive, but, like, I feel like she just let me sit there for which was on me. I get that. But, like, sometimes I wish she would have been more stern or something, or, like, called me out. and be like, okay, why are you wasting all of our time here? I mean,
Mhm.
that didn't happen a lot, but I just felt like she, I don't know, just let
It
me sit
sound
there.
it sounds like this counselor was maybe a bit maybe too lenient or too patient with you. Does that sound
Yeah, and initially I appreciated it. I was like, okay, cool. Like I can just show up, and if I want to just sit here and not talk about anything because I'm not ready to talk about anything, it's fine. But then there would be certain days, like we'd have a few sessions where we would talk, and then if I came in like a bad mood or something, and I didn't want to talk about what happened that week, she would just let me like sit there, and it was like fine in the moment. But
Mhm.
afterwards, I would be like, she just let me waste all of her time. And it wasn't like, oh, I appreciate that. It was like oh my God, like, one, why did I do that? Like, shame on me.
Mm.
And then two, like, why wasn't she like, hey, like, you were so chatty last time, like, what's up? It was, I don't know. That would happen
Okay.
every now and again.
Okay, so you appreciate it when a counselor is a bit more direct with you, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not looking for anyone mean, but I think it should have been like a big red flag if, if I'm quiet in the beginning, like, okay, let me warm up to it. But if it's like
Mhm.
we have like a 45-minute session and I've said like 3 words and you're just like patiently just staring at me, it'll be fine during, but afterwards I'm always like, oh my God, like just wasted all of our time. And
Okay.
then I would go into the next session, like definitely sure not to do that again for a while, I guess, until I would forget, I guess. But I
Mm.
would just kind of be like, oh my God, like I wouldn't say it to her, but I'd be like, why did you? Then again, I did it to myself. So I don't know. Too much
Okay.
too much quiet is not good, I guess.
Okay. Well, that's good, and I will definitely bear that in mind that we won't sit in the quiet too long.
Yeah.
Do you have any medical conditions I should be aware of, past or present?
No, nothing.
Okay. No broken bones or
No, knock on wood. No, never
okay.
broken bone.
Okay. Have you ever been to any sort of detox facility for drinking?
No, but maybe there is something you should know. I spent one night in the drunk tank, just one in college. That was probably as close to detox I'll ever get. And it was, I mean, the whole thing was like expunged or whatever. It never went on my record. But it was like a bunch of us that it was like a school officer or whatever. It was like, okay, like for your own good. And
Okay.
we were there for a couple hours, but that was probably as close to it as it gets.
Okay. So you went to kind of a nurse's station equivalent on campus?
Oh no, it was like the school jail. Like it was like we have a
Oh,
police department on campus. It was very much real. But
okay.
yeah, no, we were in there, but it was, I don't want to say informal because the whole thing is formal, but
Mm-hmm.
um in the moment like it felt pretty serious, but then once we got out, it was like the world's biggest slap on the wrist, which I don't know if I
Okay.
resent that, but
Okay, so sort of like when you say this, what comes to my mind is almost like a peer court kind of thing.
yeah, I mean, he could have easily like charged us or like with underage drinking or whatever he could have charged.
Okay.
He was just like, okay, this is for your own, and he was like really nice about it, which I get because freshmen are gonna drink or whatever, and he's like, this is for your own good. And then, when a couple hours passed or whatever, and he felt the need to let us go, we were all like, "Oh my God, he's gonna call like our parents. Like we're gonna have to fill out paperwork, fingerprints." No, it was just like you're like, call your ride, like you guys are good to go, and we're like, oh, like
Okay. Are you now or have you ever taken any sort of medications? Just in general,
um,
beyond
I took
Tylenol?
I took Ambien for sleep for a while, and I took Xanax a couple times. It was prescribed by my doctor.
Okay, that was Xanax, and that's an
And
antidepressant, I believe.
it was just for anxiety. I would have like anxiety attacks.
Okay. And I'm sorry, what was the other one that you mentioned?
Lyzan for sleep.
Okay, so sleep med. Okay. All right, and that will just aid me in knowing kind of what's worked for you in the past.
Right.
And do you feel that these medications helped at all with either the sleep or the anxiety, or?
Ambien, I stopped myself. I was like, it was too much. It was like a tranquilizer. Like, I would take it, it would definitely put me to sleep, but the next day I was like, I don't feel good. Like, it was just drowsy. It was like in a fog. So I told my
Mm,
doctor, I was like, I hate this. And like, he had offered a bunch of like alternatives, and I was like, no, I'm okay. So that one did not aid me. And then the Xanax, I thought, definitely did. Like, it was almost like I would take it like when I would have anxiety. It wasn't like a daily thing. It was just like if I was having an anxiety attack or a panic attack.
okay, so it was a as-needed
Yeah,
medication,
for
Xanax?
sure. It was definitely as needed.
Okay, great. Well, that will definitely help me to be mindful of any medication further down the road if necessary. But it sounds like it's not a pressing issue for you right now.
No, no. I mean, I haven't taken Xanax for a while.
Okay. I know that we discussed that you feel you might have a small issue with alcohol. Are there any other substances that you've used or are currently using?
Currently, nothing.
Okay.
Other than the prescriptions I told you about.
Mhm.
That's it.
Okay. Have you ever taken more than the recommended dose of those medications?
No.
Okay.
The Ambien put me out. The Xanax just calmed me down. I know, I mean, I definitely had people in my life that, were like, oh, do you have any Xanax? Can I have it? I'd be like, no, sorry. Like, I actually need this. Sorry. But no, that's terrifying to me. Any sort of overtaking pills is terrifying to me.
Okay. Um, all right. How do you get along with your peers currently? Do you have a decent circle of friends?
I'd say my coworkers are pretty cool. I don't really hang out with them too much outside of work. They always want to, I don't know, like do dinners and stuff after work, and I'm just always in a hurry to get out of there. So,
Okay.
I mean, we're all on good terms. Never had any issues. Never brought up any complaints or anything at work, anything like that. But
Do you have anyone you hang out with outside of work?
yeah, I have a good group of friends, and we get dinner and stuff. So it's not like, oh, I won't go out with people. It's just I'm being with work people just reminds me of work, and I don't really always want to be at work. So I have a good group of friends that I've been friends with since, I don't know, high school. So
Okay. So, Lyzan, I'm wondering what brought you in to see me today? What's
um
the presenting issue that we've got going on?
I would say Thanksgiving's coming up, and my brother, who told me, I don't remember if it was one Thanksgiving or two Thanksgivings ago, that I had an issue, had called me and said, let's make sure this isn't an issue again.
Okay.
And that got us into a huge argument because I didn't think it was an issue. I didn't think it was his place to say that. And I told him, I was like, look, we already talked about this. It was understood when we talked about it the first time. I don't like, I was like, I don't know why you're worried right now. Like, why are you calling me being like, hey, like, don't do that. So,
Mhm.
cause I mean, we all see each other every now and again, but it's not like, I don't live with you. You don't know how much I'm drinking these days. Like, why? So it kind of just set me off for a little bit. And then I thought about it and I said, I don't know if this is an issue the more I thought about it. So
Okay.
here I am.
So, I recall we also did an assessment for your anxiety, the Beck Anxiety Inventory,
Right.
the last time you met with me. And your score did indicate kind of a low anxiety because it was in the tens. And we also did one on depression, which indicated a 15, which is kind of very mild. Do you feel that there's any sort of connection between your drinking and maybe some occasional depression or sad feelings?
It definitely takes the edge off, I think, when I'm feeling anxious. I think, like I said, I haven't had as many anxiety attacks, but maybe I've been drinking more. I don't know. But the one thing I can say is I definitely don't feel good about myself afterwards, and not like in a physical way, like, oh, I wake up hungover, but like it's kind of like a ruminating thought. Like, I'm just like, well, last night was like fine without the drinking. Like, why did I do that? So like, I think after the fact, I'm always questioning myself, but like during, I don't really care. And then I obviously either forget about it or justify it enough to do it again.
Okay. Tell me more about that. It sounds like you wake up with this feeling of regret. What goes through your head?
I like almost, I don't know, it's crazy to say, I like almost replay the night in my head again, like minus the alcohol or like minus what I did while drinking. And I'm just like, that would have been fine. Like I could have gone to that party and not drinking and it could have been fine. Or like we could have gone to dinner and I could have had a glass of water and it would have been fine. And I like look for the reason as to why. And then I'm just like, I don't know. Like what, like did something make, I don't know. So I don't want to say it's out of control because I don't know if it is, but it's like the next day I'm always like, wait, like how did we end up here almost?
Okay, so let me ask you this. In any given week, 7 days, about how many days out of the week do you drink?
7.
Seven
At
out of
least like I'm having like something after work, at least 7. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's kind of narrow that down a little bit more. Any given day, how many drinks would you say you have?
I say minimum 1,
Okay.
maximum probably like 8. But that's a lot. That 8's like a lot for me.
Okay, so
Average I'd say 2 or 3. So it's nothing like crazy. Not, at least not to me. I think 2 or 3 crazy.
on the one hand, you have on average 2 to 3 drinks, but on the other hand, it's every day.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that it takes the edge off. What produces these feelings of anxiety for you? Is it
I
just
don't
work?
I don't maybe it's work. I don't know. Like I get out of work and that's like the first thing. I'm just like and the thing is, like I said, I won't go like drinking with my coworkers. It's like I
Mhm.
gotta get out of here. And I do. And I get home, I'm like, why not? Like almost like I earned this. Like I bared work for
Mhm.
so long. Like, here I am.
Okay. You keep coming back to that, I noticed, the I've got to get out of here.
Yeah.
So, what do you do for a living? I didn't even think
I'm
to
an
ask that.
I'm an analyst. So I
Okay.
work with a lot of computer screens in my face. It's very high pressure. It's basically I do like government contracting. So I'm in a
Mhm.
government facility. I'm staring at numbers that I have to run reports on, that I have to present, that climbs its way up to the chain of command, that they're very significant numbers. And I hate that they are, because if I make the smallest mistake, even by like 0.001, it's like the end of the world, because this is like published information and it's all this stuff. And it's just, the pressure I think is just really unnecessary, to be honest. I think it's
Mhm.
not that I don't make a lot of mistakes. I really don't. But I've seen other people in the office make mistakes, and I overhear these conversations and I'm just like, okay, like let's move a decimal point. Like it's nothing that you can't undo in my
Mhm.
sense of view, like my point of view. So it's like, but when I do hear like people messing up, I'm very sure not to mess up, because I'm like, this is an avoidable thing. and I don't really realize how caught up I am in it until it's over, and I'm like, oh, thank God that's over. I gotta get out of here.
Okay.
Gotta get out of here.
It sounds like you have almost two voices going on. You've got the voice that says, this is fixable, it's no big deal, you got this, and then you have this other voice that's like, no, I need to get this exactly right. Does that sound
I
pretty
think
close to
that's,
what's going on?
yeah, very much angel and devil. I think it's just, I do try to justify, like, I think it's like, in case I do like make a big mistake one day where it's like, it's not a big deal. I don't know.
Okay.
It's definitely, the whole thing in my head just looks like a ball of anxiety, I think. Like a
Okay.
hamster on the wheel. Like, it's a lot, but
So you said earlier that at the most you'll have 8 drinks in one night.
yeah.
Can you think of a time fairly recently when that happened?
Friday night.
Ooh, what
Easily.
happened Friday?
I got out of work.
Mm-hmm.
I got home, and a friend of mine from high school called me up. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Nothing." She was like, "Do you want to go to dinner?" So we went to dinner,
Mm-hmm.
and she drove. So I took that as, okay, like, I don't have to drive.
Okay.
And so she had one. I had 2 or 3 while there, and then we went back to another friend's house who was just, it was like a small get together, maybe like 5 of us total. And it
Mm-hmm.
was just like, we're hanging out. And then I had quite a lot more there. And definitely had to be like assisted into the car.
Mm.
And yeah, and then I woke up the next day and I was like, dinner on its own would have been fine. Like, I really enjoy my friends' company. And then I was like, going to, the other house would have been fine. Like, I knew everyone there. Like, nothing there was like the anxiety. It was like, it would have been fine. But it was
Mm.
like, like, I don't know. Like, when I think back, I'm like, I like those people. So, like, why? I don't know.
Okay, so once you're done with work, you're done, you're out the door, it's pretty much completely stress-free.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is that this is all about work and all about the pressure. What happens at work that makes you have 2 to 3 drinks as opposed to Friday with 8?
It's over. The work week is over. I don't, like, during the week, it's like, I have to be on my A game. I have so many meetings, and it's like presentations. I'm the youngest one in the office. I really am, like, by a
Mm.
long shot. So I'm like, I'm in there with talking to these people who are way older than me, like older than my parents, some of them, who have been doing this for decades, who will probably retire in the roles they're in. And it's like, here I am, this, 23, 24-year-old, whatever, like, up there, like, giving these big presentations that actually matter. And it's like, it's so much. And it's like,
Mm.
for a while, I was always scared that they wouldn't see me as an equal because I'm so much younger. But then it was like, there's so much on my plate. It's ridiculous. Like, for example, I had a coworker that used to vent to me a lot. And I make sure I don't, really vent about work at work. I don't think that that's really productive or really smart because it always, ends up getting back to people. And so I keep my mouth shut. I do my job as best as I can. I go home. And so she would vent to me a lot, and she would kind of loop me in. She'd be like, they're overworking us. And she would say, I know you're doing this project, this project, this project, this like meeting. So she would know, like, and I felt like not at ease, but I felt like good knowing that someone acknowledged that I have a lot on my plate.
Mm-hmm.
However, she, our team lead, switched teams. So there was an opening.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone told me to apply for it. I said, absolutely not. I was like, you could pay me $1 million a year. I do not want that role, like, at all. Not that I even want mine. But
Okay.
she applied for it. And she was like, you should apply for it too. I said, no. Everyone in my office was like, you need to apply for this. I didn't do it. She
Okay.
got the role.
Mm-hmm.
And then instead of hiring someone to take her place,
Mhm.
she gave me all of her old work on top of all of my work. And then she told me, I'm not going to hire anyone else. I've decided this is best for the team. And then I almost lost it. That was like the one time I almost lost my cool in the office, like in front of someone. And it was like, I was like, are you kidding me? Like you used to complain about how overworked you were, how
Mhm.
overworked I am. So you're going to literally double up my level of tasks for the sake of nothing. And I was dumbfounded. I couldn't understand it, and no one else could understand it. And literally, I had people coming in to my office to apologize. They're like, "We heard, like, we're so sorry." And it
Mm.
was like someone died. I was like, "Okay," but it's like none of you are gonna help me with this. And so it's like I walk in. It's like my meetings are doubled up, my projects are doubled up, everything's doubled up, and the person who complained most about her job is in charge of me now in a way. I mean, not that she treats me much different, but like at the same time, she has all the ability in the world to make my life a bit easier, but she does the complete opposite. So it was
Sounds
like
okay.
that happened a couple months ago. After that, I went out. I that Friday I was gone. I don't well into Saturday. I was like, this is ridiculous. And I probably shouldn't have done that, but there's a prime example of how my job is not so fantastic in certain ways.
It definitely sounds like that is a great source of anxiety, frustration, and general just fed up feelings in you.
Yeah, I'm completely fed up. Like it's
Have you ever brought this up to your boss? That
no, because they all know. They're all well, like literally people above her would come in and apologize to me like, "Oh, we heard you got doubled up." Not like, "Oh, what can we do?" or "Who can we hire?" or "How can we redistribute this one role with like the rest of you?" And it was it's there's no point. Like I don't complain and they know this. And when they give me new tasks, they go, "You don't have to if you don't want to." And so and she, the one who is my boss now, she's the one who used to tell me it's okay to say no sometimes. So I would start to say no, but then I'd get looped into other things like, oh, okay, well, you can't do this, but you can do this instead. And it would be more work. Or I would agree to one project and then they would like subgroup it, which means like it's really 4 projects, but
hmm.
they make you sign up for one and they don't tell you. I feel like it's way too much. And I think that they think I'm young and capable is what they tell me, which I don't even find flattering because I feel like everyone there is just ready to retire and is
Okay.
pushing the work off.
Well, you keep saying that they know you're overworked, and yet you also say that you haven't had a conversation with any of the higher ups or with
Yeah,
this person directly.
yeah. None. I don't know. And I think they know because like they'll come into my office and it's like maybe once every 2 months I'll have like
Mhm.
a really good day of like I like meetings got canceled or like it's close to a holiday so a lot of people aren't there and it's quiet and I'm in a great mood. Like there's music playing, there's like I'm making conversation like how was your day? Like I'm intrigued by people walking by. But for
Mhm.
the most part like if it's not like the 1 hour lunch break, like I'm busy. Like don't come in and try to put your feet up on my desk and make small talk. They know I'm not there for that. So they know like I'm either really busy or really dedicated to my work. But it's
Mhm.
like the second it's like that hour of lunch break, it's like I'll talk to people. I'm smiling, I'm happy, whatever. So they know that like I'm not gonna complain. I don't know. It's weird.
When you were in college and you had expectations of you, and maybe you felt overwhelmed by an assignment, what did you do about it back then?
I just kind of group it out. I mean, or like organize it, kind of
Mhm.
make like a priority list, make myself feel at least a little bit better by writing it out and kind of like get things done step by step.
Okay. Did you ever reach out if you felt confused or frustrated in college?
Like I said, I went to counseling for a little bit. My team coach was like a great mentor as well. So I would get coffee with him at least once a week and we'd talk it out. And I would let him know, hey, like I'm struggling with this class or, um, so we would have practice like 3 hours a day, like at least 5 to 6 days a week. So it was like very time consuming. So some days he would be nice enough to let me do, and like instead of a night practice after class, I could get it done before class, or
Mm.
he would let me split it up into 2 different times during the day. And like I felt like people were at least accommodating, if not just understanding. And it's like now it's like I don't see the point. Like I said, I feel like everyone already knows, so I don't see the point of like joining people in like in conversation talking about, oh, we're so overworked, because like half of the people that complain to me about being overworked are not when compared to myself. They are not. Maybe they are for them, but like, so I'm like, I don't see the point. I don't, and I don't think that creates a good work environment. I just, like I said, I keep my head down and I do my work. And
Okay, so let me ask you this. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being completely miserable, not even having the will to live or to get out of bed in the morning, and 10 being sunshine, daisies, and kittens, life is perfect. Where do you fall on a scale of 1 to 10? How happy are you with your life?
4,
4.
I'd say a 4. Definitely, definitely no kittens. No, I would say maybe, yeah, 4. I don't think it, like I'm, like I said, I'm still getting out of bed. I'm still showing up. I'm getting all my stuff down. You know, I'm making sure everything is done, but I'm not necessarily happy about it.
Okay, so you're getting up, you're going through the motions. Would you say that that is living or existing?
That's a good question. Probably just existing, to be honest.
Mm,
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah,
okay, and then I know earlier we talked a bit and you said that you don't see your drinking as an issue, but your brother does. And you
yeah.
talked about the frequency and what makes you tend to drink more. So I'm wondering, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much of an issue is alcohol for you right now, as you see it?
10 being like a huge
Mhm.
problem. Uh,
Yes,
maybe a 6.
maybe a 6.
Maybe a 6. I mean, other than the one time freshman year, going into like the drunk tank or whatever you want to call it, I
Mhm.
haven't had any like run-ins. I never drink and drive. Um, I don't know.
Okay. So you said that you're really just existing, and the number you gave me was very low, a 4. What would it take to move that number up even a little?
Probably a new job. Oh, I think that would just take it from a 4 to a 10,
Mm.
probably. Or not even just that. I mean, maybe like less less on my plate at work. I don't know. I guess I like my coworkers for the most part. I do. And like I'm good at what I do for the most part, but it's like there's just so much.
Okay.
Like I'd probably stay there and retire there if I got like a decent person's amount of work. Like I don't mind staying late at the office 1 or 2 nights a week, like some people, but it's like it's so ridiculous that I'm working from home on the weekends some days. It's like I don't know. Maybe that would move it. Maybe that would make you drink less too. I don't know.
Okay. Are you yourself married or in any sort of relationship right now?
No.
Okay. What did your parents do for a living?
My
Or
dad is an architect and my mother is a retired school teacher.
okay. What was their work ethic like?
Um My mom being a teacher, she was home with us every summer, every break. Um, I don't know. It was nice. My mom was around a lot. My dad would work some weekends, I guess. He would work late sometimes, but he always, if there were like school holidays, he would make sure to take some days off and be with all of us because, like I said, my mom would be home too. We'd go on family vacations, but my dad definitely worked a lot.
Okay. Did either of them have any sort of drinking or anything like that?
No, neither of them. I don't think I've ever seen either of them take a sip of anything. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Lyzan, I am noticing that our time is just about up for today.
Okay.
But this is very interesting, all that stress from work, and just it sounds like you really want to get out of that and break away and get an escape. And in our next time that we meet, I'd really like to dig a little deeper and talk more about those feelings.
Okay.
All right.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I will see you next week.
All right. Thank you. Bye.